Welcome to the Dogs Are the Best Friends podcast. I'm Emily, and my best buddy, Flynn, is here too. Hello, my fellow Crazy for the Canines Pack members. This is episode 30. How did we get here? I'm kind of amazed. I started mid-May, wasn't totally sure where I was going, just wanted to share dog stories, and I've met the coolest people, and I feel so blessed. I hope that this has been a blessing to you as well. Today's guest is Gail, and she has some interesting things to share with us that I hope you'll have an open heart and mind about. Later on, I'll announce the next drawing. Let's get to it. Gail, if you could share with us about your dogs, because you have a unique situation with your dogs. You rely on them, but of course they become your child. Like we were just talking about, they become your fur child. So maybe you could talk a little bit and explain to the listeners about why your dogs are really unique, your situation with them.
Well, I am totally blind, and I have had 5 senile dogs in the course of my 40 years being a dog owner, and they've all been different. I've had 2 shepherds who were female, Gretel and Lorraine. I've had a golden Camber, and then I had Vinny, and he's 3/4 black lab, 1/4 golden, and then Sarge, he was 1/2 golden and 1/2 yellow lab. And they've all been different and all been special in their own different ways.
So you've had a bunch of dogs, and I'm sure you bonded with each of them. It sounds like in unique ways because unique personalities per dog.
Right.
But it came down to all of them helped you survive, like your surroundings and making sure you get places safely. And they have to be your eyes for you, which is a fascinating friendship and partnership. You haven't had a seeing eye dog your whole life, right? So what is the contrast? Like, does it give you that much more independence, would you say? Is it that much of a difference to your life?
There's the people that like walking with a cane, and then there's the dog people. There's pros and cons for both. Cane travelers, here's another thing sighted people don't know. A cane's job is to find the object. Now, the object could be a wall, the object could be stairs, the object could be a bench, or the object could be a person.
Right.
Its job is to find that. I do not care. I'm sorry to say, people, I don't care if I run into you. Now, you might care, and you get all weirded out too. Oh, sorry. Ooh, like, I don't know, you're going to get cooties or something, or you're like, it's going to harm us in some way. We do not care. I care if I knock a little lady over. I care if the poor thing's in a walker and I just cremated her. I care about that.
Sure.
But basically, the cane is doing the cane's job and it finds you. So when I find you, I usually say, oh, nice to meet you. As I'm finding you, the cane's doing the cane's job. It's doing great. So don't be apologetic. You're just being your sighted person. You're just standing there. Now, if you're going to be stupid and walk in my path because you're on the cell phone, then I might have a problem with you. But if you're just doing your own thing, it's okay. You have the right to stand there. I have the right to run into you.
That's a good distinction and clarification, because I know I try to get out of the way when I see someone coming with a cane.
That's fine. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
yeah, we appreciate that. Because basically, we really don't want to run into you. But if we do, it's not your bad or my bad. It is what it is.
Right.
With a dog, a CNI dog, their job is to go around the object. So if they find the object, that's their bad. So if they find the overhanging, or they trip me off the curb, or they run me into the bench, now I can train them to find the bench or to try to find the light pole. That's a whole different issue. But basically, their job is to go around the people. So if they sideswipe somebody like walking down the street and they kind of brush, that person against me, then it's their bad and I have to correct them. And it's really hard to get the public to say, can you stand there for a minute? Because I want to make my dog run into you again.
Right.
Or not run into you again. So they go, no. I go, no, please just stand there, because then they need to remember that they need to go by you.
Right. We should have a national movement for that, so that when seeing eye dog comes by with its owner, that if they run into you, you know, yeah, offer to stay put and help out. Tell us about your last guy because it sounds like that was quite a dramatic story, a big change in your life and his. So
Yeah,
if you could share with us.
it's always hard to lose a dog, and it's really hard for someone with a CNI dog because we're with them 24/7, 7 days a week. We never leave them, and our life is in their paws. Sarge, half golden, half yellow lab, had him for 6 months. Best dog I had really in 20 years. He was phenomenal. Really bonded, just a great dog. But he and I were walking to church one day, and I had to walk a mile after I got off the bus. And we were in the middle of two busy streets in Denver. And because I'm blind, I don't see, like most people who are blind, we don't see what's happening. And we can't testify to what the real story is. I'm crossing a street, and the next thing I know is Sarge was growling and barking and carrying on with this other dog. So the other lady had to have him on a 10-foot flexi lead, and she let her dog come at my dog in the middle of these two streets. Well, what's wrong with that picture? Well, there's cars in that street. So, the cars could come and hit me because now my dog's focus isn't on me. It's on the other dog. And in Sarge's defense, what's he to do if another dog's an inch away from his face? He's going to defend himself or do what dogs do. Should he have done play? If it were play, should he have played in the street? No. If it were a dog attack, he was defending himself. And I don't know which one was going on. All I know is barking and growling and going around and around in circles. The woman saying, it's okay. It's okay. Well, no, it wasn't okay. What part of that is okay? I knew as soon as it happened that he was going to have to be retired because it's my safety. You can't take the chance that would ever happen again. It's too big of a risk for CNI and for me. And honestly, I don't know how I'm going to be with dog 6. I don't know if there's going to be psychological damage or not. I don't know if I'm going to be freaked out every time I see another dog on the street with me and my dog. Right. I don't know that because I don't have that experience. What I do know is I made her guide me to this other side of the street. And here's what I wish I knew. I wish I knew it was a class 3 misdemeanor to interfere with a CNI dog in any way, which means either looking at a CNI dog, waving your hand at a CNI dog, making eyes at a CNI dog, much less petting a CNI dog or talking to the CNI dog, which people do. Hi, how are you, buddy? What's your dog's name? Or much less letting their dog interact with my dog.
Oh my gosh.
Misdemeanor. If I would have known that, I don't know if I could have made her stay, but I would have loved to think. I don't know if I could have done it. I don't know if I'm that kind of personality, but I would have loved to have said, you need to stay here. I need to call the police. I need to have them arrest you for a class 3 misdemeanor.
Yeah, that's ridiculous that you even have to worry about somebody interacting with your dog. Very clear that you need that dog to help you.
In this piece of literature I read before I came on, it said 1/3 of all CNI partnerships get attacked by another dog. I think it's higher than that because I thought I read in a survey that was 90% of us that have had some kind of dog interference or attack. And why is it? Because people are not controlling their dogs. It's your responsibility to keep your dog on a short leash when around any dog, much less a CNI dog. It's your responsibility to have control over that dog. Like you said, have a trained dog. It's so good. Yeah. Every dog should be trained.
And it's really not that hard. It takes some time, but the rewards and the benefits to not only you, but other people are just so huge that it's worth it. It needs to be a priority.
Absolutely.
So I'm huge on that too.
Absolutely. If you own a dog, take responsibility and train it. And if you do something horrible with the team, at least
Yeah.
say you're sorry. She had no idea what she did. She just said it was okay. She had no idea what the consequences of her behavior, which caused the retirement of that $70,000 dog.
After
Immediately
6 months, you only got 6 months with him.
6 months.
That is insane to me. And so she never apologized, and nobody was able to track her down or get any justice for you then.
No, because she left, and I immediately called the trainer, and he said he's retired. And I said, I know. I mean, I was totally devastated. I mean, I still get devastated. It's like, best dog I had. We just had bonded. I remember walking down the street a couple of weeks maybe before that, and he stopped for something, and I got it. I went, oh, because it's hard when you're blind, because I don't know sometimes that the dog's farting around.
Right.
And, like, how do I know they're going that way because they feel like going over and sniffing a corner, or if they're really doing their job? And so it's a trust thing. And so this one day he went around, but he definitely went around something and definitely came back. And I went, oh, there really is something here, Sarge. And I bent down and I hugged him. And I went, good boy. And he licked my face. And I just went, we both got it. It's like, did I do good? Yes, you did. Good boy, buddy. So we just had that experience where I felt like, wow, we really are bonding, and we got it. And then that happened.
And this is so important that you're sharing this, because people are going to start to understand just why it's so important not to talk to a dog that's at work, but also the how long it takes for you to bond and to even get the dog in the first place. And so this is really educational and so helpful for everyone to understand your point of view and why it is so crucial that we respect that dog. And I've had medical alert, people on before with medical alert dogs, I should say, and they have explained their frustration and people not respecting that dog is there to work and to save their life like 9 to 12 times a day.
Yeah.
So and then oh my gosh, to save your life from traffic. And if you fall off a curb the wrong way, you could break bones and who knows?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's truly life-saving for you as well. So this is so helpful to understand. But so Sarge, he didn't die, because at first when we started talking, I thought maybe he got hit by a car or something. So he got retired from working with you. And so what is his life now? What is he doing now?
As far as I know, he is off somewhere in the United States, which I'll never know where. And he's they love him. He's a police dog because he loved playing ball. I guess they look for that trait in being a good police dog. And he is, from what I know, he is sniffing out lithium batteries in prisons because the prisoners aren't supposed to have cell phones. So he's checking it all out to make sure that they're not having their little cell phones. And so that's what he's doing.
Wow, interesting. I didn't even know they use dogs for that. I guess what I want to ask you is, as I'm a seeing person, how do I, or any seeing personnel, what do you want to share? Like when we see you with the dog, when you finally get your dog again and have another dog with you, how should we act? Should we just completely try to move like 5 feet away if we can, or just give us like the rundown? What's the best way so that we can serve you and be kind to you and do the right thing?
Well, yeah. If at all possible, I think, being on, not interacting with us is probably a good thing. However, with that said, there are narrow sidewalks that you can't always move away. So I would say control your dog. If it's a little dog, maybe pick up the little dog. Maybe if it's a bigger dog, put your dog at sit. And then say, or if you're walking by, but still have your dog on a short leash, have it controlled. That's the main thing. You have to have your dog controlled. Absolutely. And then just say, hi, I'm on your left. I have a dog. And then I'll probably just smile and go, okay, thanks. Because I don't want to interact with you, because if I interact with you, it's sort of like texting and driving. My focus isn't on my dog, because it's my lifeline to the world. Right. So I need to focus there. But just letting me know you're there and control your dog. That's the main thing. Say, acknowledge yourself, because I probably will know, because my dog probably will be pulling. I'll probably know that something's up. So it's probably okay to go on your left, have a dog. It's controlled. You're okay. Great. Thanks.
Yeah. that really helps because that's so visual. And this for us people that see like what we need to do. We need to make that dog sit, make it stay put, get out of the way if we can. But that really helps because so many of us have dogs that we're walking in and we love walking with them. And, obviously we need to be able to communicate with you and let you know. And so that's wonderful. That gives us the words and what to do and everything. So thank you. That's great.
Yeah. Don't put it at long leash. Don't think it wants to play with my dog. It's never appropriate for your dog to play with my dog. Never.
Right.
And it's never okay for you to pet my dog, even when they're at sit. Here's the deal too that people need to know. Even when my dog's at sit and I'm at a corner or something where it's okay, or I'm at a restaurant or I'm hanging out in a concert on the days that we do all those things, people think it's okay to come and pet the dog. I'll even catch people and with their hand on the dog, and I'll pick their hand up and they'll say, "I'm not petting the dog." And the hand is on the head. It's like, really? What part of this is not petting the dog? But here's what happens. Wow. Every time someone interacts with my dog, a little pet like that, when it's sitting down, resting, taking a load off its feet, whatever, and it looks like no big deal. Anytime you're interacting with that dog in harness, it's undermining the team, the success of the team. And it little by little takes away that $70,000 training. Ooh. And before you know it, I don't know it, and the dog doesn't know it, but all of a sudden I'm noticing like, oh, he's not acting like he used to. All of a sudden he's liking people more than he should. All of a sudden he's going towards people and maybe trying to get a handout or some kind of food, or maybe just wanting to get a pet. What's that about? Well, that's about the people have done it without me knowing it. And he's looking for that now. So it undermines the success of the team.
That is so good that you said that, because people just don't think of the long-term issues that they're causing by something so small. They're going to think it's not a big deal, but you're helping to illustrate how it is a big deal. $70,000 dog. You can't do that, So here's the other question. Like, I'm a fellow dog lover. So if I'm standing next to you on the street and we're waiting to cross the street, when the light changes, should I even talk to you then? Like, should I not even, like, to you, not your dog, but to you, just say, "Oh, your dog's beautiful," or something like that. But don't worry, I'm not petting him. But, like, should we even talk to you or just leave you alone then? I guess is the question.
You could say, "I'm here on your left," or something like that. Or you could say, "A beautiful dog," and I might go, "Thanks." But I'm going to try to not do too much because I'm going to want to be concentrating on the traffic or something. Or, and you might even hang back and let us do our work and cross the street even before you do, if you have a dog, that way we can do our job and then you can go do your job, because it wouldn't hurt you to wait a cycle, but because that dog could cause a distraction in the middle of the street. So it might be better for you to step back a little bit. Just let you know you're there and then step back. Pretty dog, great, thanks.
Right. Okay. Yeah, no, it just helps to know because, we don't know what we're doing. We have all these visual cues and you don't. And so we need to respect that, that you guys are pretty much, you're like, it might look like it's a dog and a human, but it's a team. It's it's a big team that's going forward. So,
and you're a distraction, no matter what you were doing, you're a distraction.
Yeah, so true. I am so grateful to Gal. She is so honest and she really taught us a lot today. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you'll remember the next time you see someone with a seeing eye dog that we need to keep it in check, our love of dogs, and go pet another dog. In honor of Sarge, this week's drawing is for a Chuck It, which can throw the ball really far and helps wear a dog out. Flynn can vouch for that, I promise. Just tag me, Dogs Are The Best Friends COM, on Instagram, or tag me on Facebook, and you'll be entered in. If you are enjoying this podcast, I would be so grateful if you'd share it with another dog lover that could use an uplifting, educational dog story. I hope you have a great week, and I don't know about you, but I'm just going to focus on my sweet pup and his unconditional love, and I'm going to forget about some of the craziness of the world, because yes, I need that this week. I send you love and light.